Hello again, cyberspace. I am back. Same day. I'm just really, really bored, obviously. I have with me Death Hyrukin. And so, how are you doing, Death? Death?
He pooped. There he is. He's back.
Ah. And I have Sir Wolfie and Burnside. How y'all? Sadly,
Um,
there's a kid in the background because he's taking a bath.
I'm groovy.
Oh, did I
And
miss any of the fun?
oh yeah, you missed the fact that I went and hid his bicycle because he left it outside in the ghetto.
Oh, no, I've seen that. Yep, this is why you need to beat your children.
Well,
So you need to beat sense into them.
it's locked in the back shed now. So now he thinks someone stole it, and we're going to make him think that
Hey,
for a little while.
Burnside, you do the artwork for Chaos 120, right?
For the most part. I mean, the stuff I gave you was stuff I was going to wind up using for T-shirts and all that, but I never got to it.
That's cool. I'm actually looking for something to do like the OBS thing for a new show. I didn't invite you because I didn't know how you felt about it yet. I was going to let Terra do that.
That sounds interesting.
What kind of
Once
show?
I get
You couldn't tell by the title?
No, I didn't really look, to be honest.
something about dead bodies.
The Deviant stream, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Burnside, it's going to be a BDSM stream.
Oh boy.
It's where it's where we ask the most important questions, the ones that might embarrass you.
Ooh, damn.
I think
Uh,
I think Burnside would do it as long as, you know.
I'd probably have to partake when I'm not home.
No.
So
He wouldn't be one of the ones we interview. I mean, granted, he'll be telling about himself throughout the shows, but he wouldn't be the ones we interview. He would help us interview people.
Gotcha.
So he could be
Okay.
like, "Oh, okay, you're into this. So how many dead bodies did you leave?"
Okay. That I can do. Okay. That sounds like something to do.
That's because you're just as sick and twisted. See, I like a guy that has some jalapeno in his vanilla. Have I lost everyone?
No.
Yeah, I caught some massive lag for about like 4 to 5 seconds.
Yeah, you're getting ROM-fied, babe.
God damn it.
They might actually be coming for you this
I
time.
kind of want to bring a feminist on the show. So, what's your favorite rope?
Wait, what?
Yep.
Bring a feminist on the show and go, so, what's your favorite rope to feel?
You're cruel.
But funny.
So yeah, this is going to be fun once, you know, Robbie realizes his bike really is missing.
I imagine it'll be like when you get noticed in Metal Gear Solid.
I don't know.
What's this about? Is this Chaos 120 or?
No, this is real life.
Oh, okay. So what's the topics?
Oh, we don't have any topics. I'm just bored, so I decided to do another stream.
Okay.
I can see if
fun, always fun.
Could find some more Florida men.
Yes.
I did one earlier with your boy Pat.
Yeah, Terra, you can go ahead and invite Burnside. He can be also the resident artist.
Well, when he gets his computer back up and going.
The wrong guy is strong.
He's trying to come back. Let me send him the Hangout link again, just in case.
You know what I don't like about Windows 10?
You know our resident furry joined my Deviant Discord.
Oh, Cass?
Yeah.
Of course, he's a furry.
That doesn't surprise me.
I made his day last night.
By the way, you called it Deviant Stream, so I had to make this reference. RA9 will set us free.
Wait, what? I don't keep up
Do
with a lot
what?
of shit.
In Detroit Become Human, any android that
Are
breaks
you Deviant
programming
too?
is called that. Oh. Yeah.
Are you the lifestyle too?
No, he's very, very, very vanilla.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
He's so vanilla, he's extract.
There is a coil of rope hanging on my left wall.
That don't mean shit to me.
I don't mean anything to me too.
Honey, you live on what, a farm, a ranch? That's no surprise.
Just about.
All that says is he's a cowboy. He's a North Carolina cowboy.
He probably uses it to rope his girls.
You'd be surprised how many are into being tied up down here.
Women. So you're gonna start doing a stream. How often? Did I lose everyone?
I think you just lost.
No, you broke up a bit on my end.
Oh, I said, so you're gonna start doing a stream. How often?
I'm trying to get a crew together. One of them is right-wing BDSM guy.
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
How long did you guys keep streaming last night?
It ran into
Nobody
after hours.
left, so we streamed until about 2 a.m.
Jesus.
Nobody left, and we kept on getting more views.
Oh, good for you.
I would have moved over to Irving's, but he didn't send an invite, so I figured I'd just keep going.
No, you could probably get Scribing on that, make it a real party.
Death, he's wondering who?
Scriblight.
Oh.
Probably get him on that, make it a real party.
Good. I should send him an invite, shouldn't I?
Yeah, he is the master of punishment. Or the lord of punishment.
That would be awesome.
Yes. And apparently Bucky had another battle with the stairs again this morning.
Oh, poor monkey.
Yeah. I can understand it, though.
I feel bad for him when he has to battle the stairs.
Because he never wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, for those that don't know, Monkey is on Lords of the Night. He is Ranting Monkey. Go follow his stream and, yeah.
And he's our resident crip.
Nah, Scooby's our resident cripple.
Oh. Yeah. Good point.
Monkey's our resident monkey. Unless we bring my brother in. Then my brother's the chunky monkey. There's Burnside.
That funky monkey. That funky monkey, chunky monkey. He also has diabetes.
No, my brother does not have diabetes.
Terra?
Yes.
You are one of the admins of the room, so if you want to give role to Burnside, go ahead.
Ew.
Wort.
Ew. Let's see here. I'm an admin. Ooh.
Oh, cool.
Masters and mistresses. Hey, that's good because I'm a dame anyway.
Same here.
Nice.
All right. Invite peoples.
All right. So what were you saying before? You said you were looking for a layout for OBS.
Yes, for the Deviant stream.
I might be able to come up with
Nothing
something.
that will
Burnside's
get me
computer is
banned.
busted right now.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'm just giving them ideas, but nothing that will get me banned.
Okie dokie. Well, we could do something relatively eccentric, like get one of those gimpy masks that doesn't have a face on it. Oh, okie dokie.
That I think would work. I gotta look and see if I can find an overlay of it first. Something I can use as a template.
Thinking you got the writing crop and then sculling. Let's see here. What else could I put in? Gimpy mask here.
Sir Wolfie, you said that you're the a rope master, right?
You broke up again. Something's wrong with my
I said you're a rope master, right?
thing.
Here, I'll type it in the side chat.
Yeah, I think he's getting infected by my ROMFI.
ROMFI like Florida Man and spreads.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Rahm Emanuel.
Here we go. Sent him the message in side chat.
Yes.
Okay.
So is everyone else lagging out, or is it?
I
just
think
Wolfie?
everyone is.
Sorry.
Lovely. Crap, because yeah, normally if I just pop my phone in the fridge and plug it in for a few minutes, it works just fine.
Yeah,
that's the tubes for you.
That's you, man.
Oh yeah, of course, CNN. You know, CNN should just be extradited out to fucking North Korea now that we're doing diplomacy with them.
Oh yeah, did you hear about that one idiot who shouted and did something stupid from them? Can't remember what it was.
What do you do this time?
One of their guys was like, "When are you going to denuclearize?" to Kim right as they were just finishing it up, and then blamed it on one of Trump's aides.
Of course they did, because it's CNN. It's the Communist News Network.
I always heard Clown News Network.
Clowns, communists, depends on us. I mean, there is such a thing as communist clowns, so it really wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yes, redistributing the wealth among the other circus performers.
Yep. Redistributionist fucking sons of bitches. The only thing that needs to be redistributed is their body parts into several mass graves or public displays.
But then you get the Human Rights Commission breathing down your back.
Since when did
You broke up, Burnside.
They commit. Of course I did.
When the communists figured out they can use your own government against you.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to overthrow it, so that they can install a communist dictatorship. I don't care what anyone says.
You missed a chat with Weebo Jones and I in the
fun.
I'm on cell phone. I can't see it.
Same here.
Am I here?
But
am I here?
You're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Communists or what?
I mean,
I think the communists in Chicago are trying to censor the Burnside.
Yeah, the commies are attacking Burnside's phone.
God damn it.
Obviously, they're about to raid the house.
Nah, he's at work. He probably just left so he could come back in.
Yep.
But no, Sir Wolfie, I'm trying to find some rope brushes. I think I can make you a overlay.
Ooh.
Nice, because right wing is also a rope master. I need to stop vaping.
I mean,
rope master.
it'll take me some time to get it right, but I think I can do it. All right.
No. Go ahead and take your time.
Found a chain brush set. That'll help. Ropes and chains are always fun. You know the whole thing. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
Yes. The song S&M from Rihanna something.
No, that's an old saying.
I've heard the saying, not the song.
Let's see here. So what's going on in your neck of the woods, Death?
Hawks and snakes are getting to my animals.
Hawks and snakes.
And roping girls.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's no one that comes in a flavor of vanilla around here. You'd be surprised.
No, I wouldn't. I have family up there, remember?
Oh, yes. Then you know what varieties the girls come in.
Yeah, it's either skank or hoe.
And then below that, you've got
Or
super
as
freak.
Scooby would say, what? I love the way he says that.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, in my neck of the woods, I get the same thing I got every year for Father's Day.
What'd you get?
Nothing.
Nothing. But don't you have, squishies?
Yes. Yes. So, in between jobs, so they didn't have money to go shopping.
Ah. Well, I didn't mean your ladies. I meant, kids. Kids or squishies.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
But there's also two other varieties: Secret Freak and Open Freak.
Oh, that's skank and hoe.
Oh.
The skank is the open freak. The hoe is the secret freak.
Oh, yes. And they're everywhere.
I wish DeviantArt let me categorize things better than what they have it set. Unfortunately, I have to just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
I honestly think DeviantArt has desensitized me to all things.
That would not surprise me.
I see so much.
Yeah. I was telling you, Weebo Jones even joined.
Wow.
And,
well, we already know she's a little freak.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, I don't know what you're talking about. This Father's Day, I am a sweet, innocent child of the Lord. I said, yep, Lord Sir Wolfie.
Nice. Oh, wait. Reminds me of that one of the chats from our channel. I did manage. It's to find out that she does schedule that crud and what color she schedules it in.
Do what now?
She schedules little sexy times with Weebonitis. We
Oh,
also know
with
what
Greek
color.
dick. Okay.
Yeah, we also know what color, which I don't know makes it worse or better.
Is it pink?
No. Oh, I think it was like teal.
Ah.
You know, I never figured out why people thought Ewoks were cute.
I said Wolfie's back on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody replied. I said, "Now you may kneel." And somebody replied, "Daddy's home. Where the hell have you been? Take out the trash and get the stinking laundry started."
I'm gonna end up being a doublemint twin in here in a bit because I gotta take my neighbor to work.
Aw.
Hey, Death, do
I
you
don't.
have a? Yes, I found it. Chain ropes and chains brushes. Yay!
What are you
Yes.
asking?
Do you have Discord?
I do. I mean, I rate prostates.
You're in prostates.
Yeah, you can find me just by my avatar. I use the same one everywhere.
I almost feel loved.
Almost.
Question is do you use the same name?
No, I use the name in my head at the time. Listen.
Well,
I
see,
think I'm in the.
I can't find you right now because I don't know your name because I'm looking in the people that are members.
Last night 9178. Yes, I did remember the ID number because I've given it out that many times.
It does. I do not see you in.
Make sure that the M isn't capitalized.
No, I'm not typing it in.
Oh, go the broadcaster rank.
I am looking in show quarters.
Oh, I haven't posted anything yet besides a hello. Oh, and the general. A couple days back.
Let me look in the general. I'm just looking at the members and I'm not seeing you.
That's odd.
Oh, that Jinx person is asking for a flogging. Calling me
Are you gonna
daddy.
give it to them?
Calling me daddy.
You know, I never understood daddy.
Don't you start.
Found you.
No, I'm saying I never understood why people use daddy of all things. It's creepy.
Alright, I just sent you a friend request. Profile.
Alright. We're good now.
Here we go.
So, Self Solo. Oh, last Friday. Well, Friday. I'm just gonna say it. Lando was the best part of that movie. Everything else was mediocre.
So you went and saw the shit show, huh?
Yeah, I had to do it just to see how bad they messed it up. They surprisingly kept a good amount of his origin story complete, although the way he met Chewie was changed a lot.
Well, you have to remember that regardless, in my opinion, of what Disney has said when it comes to
And
what's canon, I go by what
legends say is canon.
no, what George Lucas said is canon. George Lucas said that what happens in the movies is canon. The books are not. Those were fan fiction that he approved to be published by George Lucas publishing company.
What's worse is the fan fiction is better than the actual movies now.
Yeah.
Like, have you read the Thrawn trilogy? It's actually impressive.
No, I haven't. I've never really been into sci-fi books. The most of a sci-fi book I like is the Acorna Chronicles.
Yeah, well, I got my hands on the last part of it a couple weeks back, and I read through all of them. I can confidently say they are much better than the sequel trilogy. In fact, even the predecessor to the sequel trilogy, the new Jedi Order books, much better than those too. Because they still had their Kylo Ren and Rey, but they were much better developed characters overall. For instance, it's the Kylo anagram there. Jason Solo actually has valid reason to go Sith. Because he watched his nephew, brother, their cousin, and wife, and his father all die in a war. Or that he could have stopped if he had just used the power of the Sith to destroy them all at once. But they wouldn't let him. So yeah, as soon as the war is over, he goes Sith. He takes his remaining cousin and then starts to train him in that way. And then his sister has to cut him down to stop him. Like I said, the expanded universe got really dark when it wanted to.
Happy Father's Day. I mean a big hug.
Stop. I'm live.
Happy Father's Day.
The kid sounds cute.
That's my oldest.
Oh, wow. How old is he?
That's a girl.
Oh,
I'm surrounded by estrogen here.
Oh, brother. You got all girls. Yeah, one of my cousin's kids just hit 12. Oh, and she's been moody all day, so I'm starting to think.
Oh, that time of the month.
Oh, yeah. She's been eating like crazy, too, which just confirmed it to me.
Oh, there's a good chance of it.
Yeah.
That's right. I have that one. All right, keep looking. Yeah, the kid here is getting ready to have a real big growth spurt because he's acting out a lot.
Strangely, I didn't act out when I got my burst spurts. I just ate like a black hole.
Oh, he does that too.
Yeah. He'll either shoot up on height or width.
Oh no, he's shooting up on height. He's too active to be to get wide.
I'm in across the shoulders.
I don't think he's gonna hit that yet. But I also haven't seen what the sperm donor looks like either.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, stop eating your ass and you won't gag. Damn dog.
Yeah, dogs are like that.
Yeah, I've got to talk to my aunt and see if I can bring the dog over to the house so I can bathe them. It's easier than me trying to climb up the stairs.
Yeah. Mine got another squirrel this morning.
Good dog.
Mine got. Wait, no, I don't have a dog.
Dumb thing jumped down in his cage and decided that was a good place to be while he was waking up. Just so happened, since he decided he wanted a little extra with his dog food.
Oh, dumb squirrel. It won't be dumb again.
Nope. The chipmunks, no, they stay far away. From where the dogs are kept. They don't go in that lot. They don't mess with them.
I think Burnside might be rebooting his phone because it's taken him a while to come back. Plus, he may have had a supervisor show up. He's pulling a double today.
Yeah, I heard.
So, what'd you think about my show with your boy Pat?
I was with my dad for most of it, but I showed up for the last minutes, and it was pretty fun.
Well, I know you've been there for.
I wonder if he's one.
Your boy Pat?
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't exactly ask him. All right, just because.
You know what's awkward?
To you, Sir Wolfie, I am getting the animal paw prints brushes so I can put on there too.
While I was out with my dad and family, I ran into a girl I used to go to school with. And I hate whenever I run into someone I used to go to school with because awkward.
Why?
Because awkward.
Oh, it's got to be more than the fact that it's just awkward.
Well, there's a 90% chance my male cousin dated them at some point.
Okay.
Because you see, he's
a man whore?
No, he just had a record of being able to get girls like no one's business.
He's a man whore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just because you're a man whore doesn't mean you get laid. It just means you can get the women.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they ask about him. I have to say, hey, I don't know. So every time. Because I don't keep up with him that often.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, what's worse is that I knew this girl was pretty smart when I knew her. But yet she still works at the Cracker Barrel. All that she was working in when we were in high school.
Well, you got to stick with a job that does you good, so I can understand that.
Oh yeah, she made a manager, but it's still kind of weird for me.
So, do you like the layout I've done so far, Terra?
I have not seen it. Let me go back and look.
I just need to
get
it
in general.
No. I'm talking about with the topics and everything and how I'm setting it up.
Looks all right so far.
Well, if you have any ideas, just add it.
I will. Right now, I'm looking through DeviantArt, looking for more rope brushes or anything that piques my interest in the lifestyle. I had someone message me on FetLife going, "So what are you looking for?" And I'm like, friends. I'm not really in the life anymore. You know, my ex-husband burnt me out on it. He's like, "Well, maybe I can change your mind." I go, "I highly doubt that." I was like, I'm really picky about who I play with and even pickier about who I have sex with. Don't try and tell a woman that's been burned on the life that you can change her mind on it. Because all that's going to do is kind of piss her off.
All right, just stay in your room and don't come out then.
I found some Hot Wheels brushes.
Burnside, pick a topic. I'm brain dead. I've been
Oh, he's
pretty much.
back?
Oh,
I'll see him.
I don't see him. Sorry, wrong
No.
wrong tab. I saw him on YouTube. Hi.
I didn't know you were going live.
It's not real anything important. Here. It's not important. It's just he got bored.
Okay.
So he sent me a link. Huh?
Peanut butter.
What? Wash your hands. Woman, dump it out.
Oh, hold on.
Screen. See?
Boy.
So, do you want to join Deviant's death?
I probably could. So we
All
want me to bring
I already sent
handcuffs
him
and
an
gags.
invite on Discord.
I have 3 different types of handcuffs and 2 different gags. Which one do you want me to bring?
And I'm gonna I might actually make Terra's bitches and put Burnside and Death under there. What?
Don't put me under that.
Okay, fine. Terra's cyber stalker.
Okay, that I'm fine with.
Well, I do pick on you about that live stream. But remember, I have told everyone I was flirting with you first before I started talking to Heinrich.
Yeah.
Don't lie, Terra. You flirt with everybody.
I do. I'm a natural flirt. But no, Death and I were talking seriousness, and then I met Heinrich, and Death understood. It's I have. It's an age thing too.
Hello, Princess L. How are you? Welcome to chat. Give us a topic, and we'll probably talk about it.
There's no one in here.
No, in your chat on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me see if I can get the other
There
device.
also my brother's in here, so yeah, give us a topic. We'll chat on it. At least while I
Yeah,
do
he
the
actually
chat.
gave me a great compliment after he says he's a non-believer. What would I do? I said I would be your smiter.
Yeah,
that's my kind of god.
Yeah, my brother's an atheist through and through.
Hey, this is barbecue. I took half and I give you the other half. You like apple pie?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can have the apple pie. There's no whipped cream for it. You like salads?
No.
Are you guys remaking the movie American Pie?
No.
I heard something about apple pie.
No, my roommate, her aunt took the kid for the day. And they brought back food. And so she's offering me some of the food, which I'll probably eat after I get back from running the neighbor to work.
You know, I think that's one of those movies you can't all-female reboot.
It's 9/17.
It would be kind of funny.
They could try, but I don't think it would work.
It'd be better than the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, anything is better than that. That's garbage. You know, sometimes I just go to movies to see how bad they messed it up. So I'm kind of curious, how bad can they mess up Oceans?
Oh, Terra. New development. I've actually been studying in the Gorean lifestyle too.
Oh God.
Oh,
I didn't say I was going to do it in real life, did I?
At least not with me.
I would.
My ex-husband tried to pull that.
I'm just getting knowledgeable. Knowledge is power. Or what they say in Mortal Kombat, there's no knowledge that is not power.
or what
Yeah,
they say in G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. But
Real American hero.
no, I studied up on it because of my ex-husband, and my ex-boyfriend was into that.
L? Princess L, if you listen to my voice, I am the white wolf with the fedora. That is who Sir Wolfie is. Get it? White wolf, Sir Wolfie? Ruff, ruff.
Yes, straight mail. There is some dead air. Trying to think of things to talk about.
Okay. Let me just
I'll be right
let me
back.
just abuse my power.
Tall girl, how are you?
Let's see. Oh, this should be fun. All right.
Thank you.
Deputy, Florida man chugged can of beer during DUI stop. Authorities say a 48-year-old Florida man raised a can of beer and chugged it after a sheriff's deputy stopped him on suspicion of drunk driving. Daryl Royal Riedel told Monroe County Sheriff's investigators he was scared when he fled in his pickup truck as Deputy Anthony Lopez stepped out of his patrol car Thursday. Riedel drove for a short distance before stopping. Riedel has 3 prior DUI convictions between 2003 and 2010, and a fourth is pending in 2017. Report says Riedel got out of his truck, beer can in his hand, and chugged it. Riedel faces numerous charges, including felony DUI, fleeing from a deputy, driving with a suspended license, and failure to submit to a breath test. He's in jail without bonds. Records don't list a lawyer.
Okay, so development in the kid's bike situation. For those that don't know, the kid decides he's going to leave it outside, doesn't believe that somebody will steal it. So, his mom indicated to me, take it outside, put it in the shed in the backyard, and lock it in. So I did. Now the kid thinks that his bike has been stolen. Well, now he's begging to go door to door.
That ain't gonna help nothing.
Awesome. All right. I'll be right back. Go in the kitchen real quick.
Go.
So,
Oh, it just hit me who that is. It's one of my IMVU best friends. Hi, Aurora.
all right.
Is that your Skype? Was that your Skype? I thought I heard the Skype sound.
Okay, so
Okay, this is too good to pass up.
yeah, keep listening because you're about to hear the kid freak the fuck out.
Oh no, that wasn't what I was looking at. Let's find out. Hey, where's Brevard County in relation to you?
Robbie, come get your bike.
Just put it in there.
Yeah, because I wanted to teach you a lesson. A lesson of not taking your bike outside. Now put it up against the wall. Take care of it.
Oh, did you put it there?
I'm not saying a word.
Put it there.
Go put your bike up against the wall and go to bed.
No. You're not gonna take this cup off.
He's so happy to have his bike back.
No.
Don't be saying my name. Princess L, Princess L, Princess L, Princess L.
Do what?
I'm
So-
reading the chat while I can.
Do you
At least
want to hear what I found?
What did you find?
Florida man throws samurai sword at sheriff's deputy.
Oh my God, that sounds like my dad.
The Florida man is in jail after law authorities said he threw a samurai sword at deputies responding to a domestic disturbance call. Brevard County Sheriff's deputies were responding to a 911 call Wednesday from a woman who said her son was threatening her with a samurai sword. Oh, this is great. Florida Today reports when deputies arrived, they found 24-year-old Geoffrey Crane and holding the samurai swords, and he refused to put them down. Investigators say Crane then threw one of the swords at the deputies. A stun gun was used to subdue Crane, who had a blood alcohol content 36. Legal limit to drive is .08. So yeah, he had above 4 times the limit there. Crane faces several charges, including domestic abuse and aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. He was still being held in Brevard County Jail on Saturday. Jail records didn't say if he has a lawyer. So, do they think this is anime? Because this is like the third Florida dude who threw a samurai sword at someone.
No, they're just real cheap to buy.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Yes, but they're not the real ones.
Oh, hell no. I
they're
want a
awful.
real one from Japan. You know, the dude, like the kind of dude that, you know, made it in
The ones that are
Kill
folded
Bill.
700. The ones that are folded 400 times.
Yes.
That's just because of the crap quality of their steel and iron. They had to do it that much or it would break on impact.
But the blades are also thin. So thin because of how they do it.
Yeah, it's impressive. I'm not saying that. Just give them better,
Princess
give
L,
them
I
better
know
iron
that
and they're
name's
actually
not your
pretty
real
decent.
name. But we all love you anyway.
You can take it upstairs.
Ooh, you had to post it in the chat. Now I'm going to say it because you are She-Ra.
Come on, bring it upstairs.
Oh, man. Do you know there's actually a TV network around here that plays She-Ra and He-Man every morning at 6 o'clock?
Oh my
On
God.
Saturday.
What network is it?
I think it's MeTV. Usually they'll play it at 6 o'clock on Saturdays. She-Ra and
my
He-Man.
God.
And all those old cartoons. Actually, they play the Green Hornet show, too. I love that network because
Yes,
all those
straight
old
Sith.
TV
I
shows.
also know about the Europe swords.
Let's see.
Because people didn't know how to forge iron and steel right. Because it's the Middle Ages.
Oh, the Japanese always knew how. They did a damn good job of it.
Yeah, they did.
But they did learn if you folded it more than 400 times, it became weaker.
Yeah.
If you folded it less than 400 times, it became weaker.
Funny thing that we found the samurai stuff too, because I just finished Rurouni Kenshin the other day.
No, I've got at night I go to sleep watching Bleach.
Oh man, I love that show.
I like it too. I haven't watched the movies because, you know, I'll read the description. I'm like, okay, I already know how this is going to end. You know,
they had to rush the ending out.
End of story.
Yeah, but they had to rush the ending of the manga out because Kubo got sick near the end of it. It bad.
Yeah, an anime creator recently died. I can't remember which anime he did.
Oh, that sucks. But you know, you can tell the guy for My Hero Academia was a fan of Kubo and Naruto and all that. And apparently a fan of Avatar because he put a whole character in who's a reference to that show.
Someone like Aang?
No, it's a Zuko reference.
Damn.
Because on one side of his face, he's got a scar. And that ties into his backstory. He's actually my favorite character on that show, too.
I actually watched that show, Straight Sith Mail.
What?
Men at Arms.
Yeah.
It's about sword making and everything.
You know, there was an entire week I was on a kick finding every episode of that I could. You remember when they made Excalibur from Fate? Oh, Princess Ella. I've watched Avatar at least 5 or 6 times. We pull it out once every year and just watch the entire box set from beginning to end.
Sorry about all that.
No problem. So, I have a question. You have to be doing something with your hand.
I always have to.
Yeah, me too. Like, even when I'm not aware of it, my hand is always doing something. Because I just found
Yeah, mine too.
my mom's car keys. And I've, unaware, been playing with them for the last 30 minutes.
Damn, I didn't realize that so fucking strong.
What?
The laptop, its microphone is so strong.
Oh, yeah. They actually build them with half-decent internal mics now.
Remember when they came out with them and they were all shit?
Yeah, I remember. Of course, I like my laptop, my very nice, high-quality laptop that I paid so much for.
I didn't realize how much noise I make when I do stuff.
It's fine.
Like when I'm moving around on my bed because it's an air mattress. I've joined the Burnside Air Mattress Club.
I've actually watched that Princess El Haruki. I can't pronounce
Watch
it.
what?
It's an anime, Hakuouki.
We're talking about anime. Hey, I just saw Lupin the Third for the first time.
I can't see side chat.
And that's actually a half-decent show. I don't know. Gets my thievery refixed through.
Alright, be right back.
So, Sir Wolfie, you ever seen British crime TV shows?
Say again?
British crime shows. Because I've noticed a trend. They really like doctors. They really like priests. And they really like these people finding out strange murders. Some unknown reason.
You broke up, man. So I'm sitting there like trying to piece it together and it's not forming in my head.
Oh, yes. Rural internet. Let me tell you. Yeah. Rural internet is the worst because you get one company and no one else. You have zero other choices.
Yeah, down south, Florida, all you have is Comcast, pretty much.
All we have is Windstream.
Oh my god. From what I understand, they're just as bad as Comcast.
Windstream is worse because Windstream will randomly drop out for entire weeks and you will not be able to do anything.
What the fuck?
And they will not send you help because they're lazy.
Well, I recently had Cox Cable saying, I owed an extra like $75 because, the cable guy had to come into the house to fix the cable. And so I called him. I'm like, no, 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 no. All I had them do was come out and turn on the cable from the outside. They did not step foot in my fucking house. I am not getting charged for this. I was told I wouldn't get charged. Damn technician did not make a note in my account.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst.
And so they took it off. They took off that $75. Which I have to make sure that my roommate paid that. Which I think she did. Because have But, I do like doing my own streams. But if it were necessary, I can live without internet. I have internet on my phone. So
Yeah, we do too. Problem is it's expensive, and and I had to share mine.
I have to share. Oh, your phone
No,
or your
the internet
internet?
provider. Yeah, we share a service plan.
Before you go up there.
So
Yeah, sorry. I'm probably going to break up a bit. I'm sitting at the bootleg.
oh no, don't worry about it. But I can never look at a blue icy the same way again.
A blue icy? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you know what makes the blue flavoring? I mean, coloring.
No, what?
The secretions from a beaver's anal glands.
Oh, that's also for artificial raspberry flavoring, too.
Yeah, nasty stuff. I can never look at one the same again.
I have
Still
a
tastes
friend
too
that
good.
every time he loves getting raspberry mocha lattes. But when we when we go to go get them, he's like, I need me some beaver taint.
Yeah.
I still like raspberry. I still drink the Mountain Dew Volt, which is citrus raspberry.
You know, I never got into Mountain Dew. I just can't drink it.
Well, it's my alternative to Monster because my doctor doesn't want me drinking Monster because my neurologist anyway because it can cause migraines.
Monster will
But
kill
I
you.
looked at well, I don't drink it that often, luckily.
Hmm.
Um, I usually only get it when I really need to wake up, and go, or I have a migraine, a really bad migraine because the caffeine helps.
Hmm. Yeah, caffeine was always a home solution for migraines. You
Oh
you
yeah.
drink down an entire Coke, then go to bed and not get up until you were better. I,
Can I use spider?
my mother and I started getting them right after I was born. We don't know why, but uh, like I get them bad enough where I get knocked out a few minutes after, or whenever
Yeah,
they come in.
that's usually mine. But sometimes I get those that I can't go to sleep because my head's
Oh, the
pounding
ones
too
that
much and it
keep
makes
you
me
awake.
dizzy. Yeah, the ones that make you nauseous if you try and close your eyes.
Yeah, I know them. Oh God, those are the worst. I used to get those during school, and I just be on my desk shivering, and trying
Well,
not
when
to
I used to
die.
get them in school, it was usually by the end of the day. And in high school, I had a block class at the end of the day, and I explained it to my teacher. He's like, "Okay, so we're just gonna like put you in the back of the class and go to sleep if you need to."
Yeah,
And that's what I would do.
I would get them right in the middle of my day, and I'd had to suffer until I got home. Then, as soon as I was back in the car, I was just asleep.
Well, see, I was lucky. My teacher, he was also the golf coach, and one of his own grandchildren, I think it was, had seizures. So he was accommodating to me.
Uh,
The rest of the class hated me because I would sleep through the class at least until the second block, or I'd make it through the first block and sleep through the second block. So they hated me, and I would fail the vocabulary tests, but I passed everything else. Like he'd have us like read Romeo and Juliet, and I'm like, I've already read this. He's like, okay, write me a summary on it. So I did, and he's like, okay. We did another story. I don't remember. I think we were doing Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart. I'm like, I read this just for fun. And he looks at me and he's like, okay, write me a summary on it. So I did. So, most of the time I would sit there and, just doodle in class, or I would,
yeah,
sleep through class. And so, my fellow students fucking hated me.
yeah. English and history were my best subjects because I just did that kind of thing for fun. So while everyone else was working, I was usually just looking through the textbook because I didn't have anything else to do, and
Mm-hmm.
reading ahead in both those classes. And then in
Well, go ahead.
social studies was my best one because basically I could just quote from. I had really good memory for dates and events at the time,
Mm-hmm.
so I would have already like heard Gettysburg Address, or seen some, or like read some historical accounts and then quote them back word for word, or like during my seventh or eighth grade year I found we were tasked with a Revolutionary War history, and I
Mm-hmm.
found the diary of some regular who had been there at the Boston Massacre, and figured out and read his account of it back and figured out a few things.
Um, yeah, I always sucked in math. I always ended up
Oh
having
god,
to go back literally to remedial math no matter what happened. I'd advance on to the next, but if a couple years passed, I had to go back to remedial. So when I went to college and I was going to go for a nursing degree, like my grandmother, I realized I can't do this math because I'm going to have to get into chemistry and shit like that. I can't do that. I already
uh,
know I can't do that. And so I changed it to a general business degree. And they still wanted me to take fucking algebra and shit. And I'm like, you really don't need algebra in business if you know how to do accounting. And I already knew how to do accounting because my mom, when she was going to City College for a business degree, I helped her with her accounting.
yeah,
But my mom was also one of those that I swear it was osmosis. She would fall asleep studying on the book and know everything the next day.
yeah, that's creepy. I was never good in math classes. I did extremely well on math tests, just in like those state tests they started giving out, but I was never good in the classes.
So you were still in school when they started changing shit. Um, What do you
Yeah.
think about this whole thing of teaching them to take tests instead of to think and ask questions?
That was already happening, but when I got to middle school, uh, the test taking attitude just makes kids worse. Honestly, I've seen some of that homework. Back in my day, that would be considered busy work, but no, this is the official work now. It's awful.
Yeah, I've even seen that Common Core bullshit, and I'm like,
Yes, where 5 3s don't make 15, but 3 5s do.
yeah, that,
Common
you
Core
know,
is the worst thing to ever
that's,
happen to our schools.
and they tried that shit in the 70s, and it didn't work. My aunt told me about that. She's like, that's the way they tried to do it in the 70s, and, your mom started talking to me. Your mom started failing math because of it.
Yeah,
And my
in
mom
our
has always actually been good with math.
yeah, in our 8th grade classes is down here. They had to start reteaching 5th grade math because no one remembered it after their tests were over. They just forget the
Yeah,
whole
because you're
thing.
only taught to remember it until the test, and then you're taught a whole new thing.
Like heck, I don't remember the math I learned in 12th grade, and I have never reused it.
Like my oldest goddaughter, first grade, they were already teaching her multiplication tables. I'm like, what happened to teaching her, in first grade how to add, subtract?
Wait, 1st grade multiplication? Lord, I didn't get that until I was in 4th or 5th.
Exactly.
Like I had a horrible math teacher for my 1st grade year. Just awful person because she'd explain things really weird. Because this is how she explains subtraction. Okay, you see these 4 boats? Now you see this other boat over here on the worksheet? Add all of those together and then subtract that one boat. So I kept getting 4 over and over again because she explained it poorly. Until I finally, one of my friends just told me, because, I was horrible at math. I never understood it. Numbers did not work for me. Letters and dates worked for me.
Yeah, you're told to add all the boats and then subtract one. You get 4. You have 5 boats total. Now you have 4.
Yeah, and I never got it right because she explained it bad. Because as a little kid, another thing that I struggled with was a little kid was being social. So partner work wasn't exactly great because I didn't have any other kids to hang out with. It. I had my cousins who would visit like once a week, and then or once a month, and then I would be alone with my parents and just hang out with them.
Yeah.
So I was really good at figuring out politics and economics and such. That's really early, but I wasn't the greatest at socializing. And I was very blunt because no one in my family really has a filter.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had a habit of telling teachers and such, that's wrong, this is right. I'm smarter than you are. And most of the time, the sad
Oh,
part was I was right.
I'm not worried about them.
The sad part, I was right most of the time.
Yeah. I had a math teacher that used in 3rd grade that used to give us like 100 pages to do in one night. And finally, my best friend's mom came in and goes, "You got to stop giving this homework because, none of these kids can do it in one night. So you're going to stop giving it to my daughter." And that goes for Terra over there, too. And my teacher goes, "You can't tell me what to do about Terra." And my friend's mom looks at her and goes, "Okay, I just spoke to her mom.
You
You're going
know,
to stop giving them such homework because we weren't getting to bed till like 1 o'clock in the morning trying to finish this homework because it was due the next day."
oh yeah, yeah, that happened to me too. Ooh, I'd get a ton of homework from like a different teachers. Like math, you'd get
Uh-huh.
10 pages worth of problems and like I don't know, multivariable
Well, it
algebra. Then you'd have to
Well,
read
it was
your
like
90 pages.
10 pages, but 100 problems per page, or something
Ugh.
like that.
Yeah, I know about it. The problem with us was inconsistent workloads throughout the year. You're like
Yeah.
at one part of the year you'd have so much work you had to drag your backpack behind you, and at another part you'd have like in the middle of the year you'd have so little work, or you had nothing to do at night. And then at the end of the year, as a test got through, suddenly you had 50 pages of math homework that we didn't cover in class because I suck at my job. And then in
Yeah.
science, you had another 20 pages because they didn't cover that either. Because they never seemed to fit all the curriculum into the year. They never figured it out. You always had
And
something you didn't get to in class.
part of that is the school board, the state school board, because they're the ones that come up with what's to be taught each year. So much of this, so much of
Yeah.
that. Well, why not let the teachers come up with the curriculum? Because it's not always, the teacher's fault. I'm not saying, there aren't dumb teachers out there. I've had plenty of them. But sometimes it's the school board that, fucks up because they want the teachers to do this, this, and this, and the teachers can only squeeze it in so much because they're trying to actually teach the students. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
with the good teachers.
Yeah, the school boards are, and then you've got the teachers that don't care anymore.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what was going on with my third grade teacher.
me
Is
and my
that
family. You continue.
go ahead.
Me and my family had a habit for finding those and making them quit just by being complete douchebags to them for an entire year because we could tell, and we don't like people who slack, especially not in such an important job for kids. So yeah, we
Yeah.
have our current record is we made 6 teachers quit it over the years, and we know it was us because they started getting a lot more gray after we were in their classes for a while.
We that same math teacher ended up or regular third grade teacher called, had me sent to the office and was complaining. And I've told this story before. I'm tired right now, so I can't really remember what it was. And my mom was called in, and because my dad was handicapped at the time, so he couldn't come into the school. And the teacher, is saying, I'm a horrible student, blah, blah, blah. And, principal's looking at her like, well, she's been, student of the week more than 10 times. Oh, well, she beats up other students. And the principal looks at her and goes, not without provocation. She defends herself and defends others. He's like, I've got a stack of letters here, saying, please make sure, Terra watches over my child, blah, blah, blah. That's why, I when they request that, she escort them somewhere, she gets called out of your class. And she's like, well, that's not right, blah, blah, blah. And my mom finally comes in and she gets caught up to speed, and she just looks at the teacher and goes, well, if you don't like any fucking kids, why the fuck are you a teacher?
Yeah,
Sounds like you need a new job.
I never understood that. People who don't like children become teachers.
I mean, I used to want to become an English teacher. So I could break a lot of students from that fucking ghetto talk and type, talking in short term, or when cell phones first came out and it was real, and the text messaging was really, really expensive. I understand doing shorthand, but text messaging now, you pay the right amount. Like, I pay $30 a month and I get unlimited talk, text, and data. And all I I can type as much as I want, as many characters as I want, and people are still like, WYD. And even now, even though I know what it stands for, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
The only time I type like OWM or shorthand is when I'm driving. Like I'll type real quick while I have my phone set up on the phone holder in the car. I'll be on my way somewhere and I'll type to the person OWM or OMW just to let them know I'm on my way. But that's just because I'm driving. I don't have time to have the phone in my hand and type the entire thing.
yeah.
But, you know, even when I was in high school, they were writing in shorthand. And I'm like, okay, if you have a tiny piece of paper and you want to get a lot across to someone, I get it. But you have an entire sheet of fucking paper.
Yeah, like, in English teachers today, apparently there are a lot more that got in there just because it's a simple class to teach. Because there are a ton of kids around here who don't like reading. Like, I've never seen it that bad until the last handful of years.
It's just horrible. I mean, too many teachers don't really like kids. I don't like kids. That's why I wanted to be like a high school English teacher.
Yeah,
Because
because
I
the
can
only
handle
thing you have to do there,
teenagers.
the only thing you have to do there is keep them awake.
Yeah. Not only that, but that's where you break that cycle of broken language. Because that's where it starts, is in the teenage years. But I also realized that, you know, I wouldn't be able to bring myself to deal with not the children, but the parents that, you know, the children decide, oh, it's the teacher's fault, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not always the teacher's fault. I had a math teacher in high school. Yeah, it was his fault because, you know, I went to him saying, can you help tutor me on, you know, our lunch breaks daily so that I can catch up? And he goes, well, I tutor on blah, blah, blah days. I was like, well, I work for my grandmother taking care of her. She was injured in a car accident and she's in a wheelchair, which wasn't exactly a lie. She was in a walker by then, but she still had a halo. So, you know, I worked for my grandmother to take care of her on, you know, after school. That's why I was asking him to help me during lunch hours. And he goes, and I was like, also, I have a learning condition. I have ADD, you know, so I have a hard time concentrating on multiple things at one time. So it would really help if you would help me. And he goes, well, it's your fault you have a learning disability, and I'm not giving up my lunch just to teach you.
Douchebag.
So, you know, I told my mom, I said, that's it, I'm done. I'm not doing math homework anymore or anything like that. And I told her why, and she goes, okay. I said, I went to, you know, I explained, I went to him. You know, I was doing my part of trying to be a decent student and go to him and ask for help, and he refused to give it. But also when I left high school, because I went ahead, I was actually kind of expelled my 10th grade year. This was the same teacher. I told him I was going to a different school, which I was. I was getting ready to go to an all-girl learning school. And I said, so I won't be here for, you know, I'll be here for the midterms, but I won't be here after Christmas. And he's like, okay, well, don't worry about taking the midterm. Just, you know, sit in class so that you get the attendance. Well, he hands out the Scantron. I pass it right over my head. He hands out the scrap paper. And I was like, you realize I'm going to be doodling on this? He's like, I don't care what you do with it. I was like, okay. And he ended up getting an extra Scantron. And he's like, here, take it. You're supposed to take this test. I said, I already told you. I'm not coming back after Christmas. And he goes, well, then, you know, if you're not going to take this test, you can go to the dean. I said, fine, I'll get out of this dick-sucking class. And the entire class applauded me. But when I went to the
I've been
dean,
talking and did not realize I was still muted.
I've done it before. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah. What I was going to say is I only graduated with a C plus average. Do you want to know why?
why?
Because you gave up
Because
because they didn't
no,
make you care.
because the teachers hated me because I always corrected their answers. I never did my homework because I didn't see the point of doing it because I already knew the answers.
Yeah, the homework is busy work nowadays. It doesn't help. It just occupies time.
Well, some students it does help them. But
So
all they're doing now is teaching them to take tests, not, think for yourself.
yeah, like if you
Like
ask me
now
to
when they
do
ask you to
Pythagorean
write an
theorem,
essay, I have a friend whose son is in high school. When they ask him to write an essay, they want it written a specific way, literally like plagiarism.
oh, I know the formatting too, and they're always the same. Okay,
And yeah, they want him to literally plagiarize. They want him to do it word for word instead of, reading the material and putting it in his own words.
they like to say they like to make your own thoughts, but they don't really. That gets points taken off nowadays. If you make your own thoughts, you just rephrase a slightly the original thought. Awful.
But it's basically plagiarism.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's plagiarism, but you can't do anything about it or you lose points and you get a D.
And that's bullshit. They need to learn true critical thinking. And then they're asked in college to do true critical thinking, and they don't know how.
And that's it's probably part of our communist problem too. They taught them not how to think, so they just follow the ideology that comes along. Like they did that in my 12th grade year when the Common Core stuff started getting integrated into my area. And I suddenly started getting D's on English papers because I wouldn't write it exactly the same as everyone else because I actually cared. Finally, at the end of my 12th grade year, I realized, I already have my partial scholarship. I've already got what I thought was a stable job at the time. Turned out not to be. I have I'm pretty much lined up. I'm tired of this. I'm not doing it. And I just stopped working at the end of my 12th grade year. Like, you didn't get anything out of me at that point. I would read a book during my classes. They'd ask me a question. I'd answer, of course, because I was good at that type of thing, listening without listening. But I just didn't do nothing.
Yeah, that was me during high school.
Yeah. Like the point where your kids are realizing that this is all pointless is the point you failed as an education system.
Yep.
Like the majority of my learning was done at home with my family at that point. Because, instead of teaching you practical skills, they teach you ones you don't need anymore. Like back in the olden days when you had to sail around the world with a compass and a map. Yeah, maybe this was useful. But these days it's kind of outdated.
Yeah.
And even the way they integrate technology is bad. Like they don't use it as a way to reach students who can't be there for a day, by live streaming the class or something, or use it to give a new way to teach. They just use it to assign work.
Yeah.
And there's all the recovering of information too. Like you'll learn it 1 year, and then 4 years later, oh, we're doing this again. There's no changes. We just do it again.
Yeah, I honestly hate current school systems. I mean, if I were to have a child, I'd probably homeschool them.
And yeah, I'd say that's a good idea.
Yes, but if you want to homeschool, you have to go through a lot of rigmarole. So you got to go to the Board of Education, fill out this application, actually give your homeschool a name of a school, and then they got to process
That's
it
easy.
and
Terra
figure out
sends
how to accept it.
alternative learning.
Yeah, they made a lot of hoops to jump through if you want to actually teach your own kid because you don't agree with the way school is taught.
Well, I'm talking about like right now. I mean, if they were to actually fix this shit, the sends alternative learning. I 1 year.
You're breaking up.
I don't know if that's because I'm walking the dog and he won't fucking shit.
No. Yeah, they never go to the bathroom. They prefer to sniff the scenery.
Right?
Like, I took you out here for one thing. You were clawing at my leg to get out. Why? Why you now suddenly not interested?
And what's worse is I can see that area puckering, and he's not going.
Ugh, it's awful when they do that. But in all honesty, I'd tear the current system down, rewrite the curriculum for a modern world. For instance, like taxes, how to do your taxes, correct use of a calculator. There's some engineering and programming
how to
work.
balance a checkbook.
Yeah, how to balance a checkbook. All those things they don't teach you in school unless you took home ec.
And not the chemical reaction of turning paper into rubber.
Wait, there's a chemical reaction that'll do that?
Bounce check, get it?
Oh. Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I had an ex that liked to write rubber checks, and I'm like, your fault, you're in jail.
But in all honesty, like computer use and stuff would be more appropriate for teaching nowadays than
I got put in jail in 2014 for a mathematical error that happened in '97.
Yeah, and they don't teach you how to do that. It's the worst part. They don't teach you practical skills anymore.
Like how to change the oil in your car, how to, put water in your radiator. My roommate, she doesn't know how to do any of that. The only thing my dad forgot to teach me was that a transmission needed fluid.
Oh, yeah. But
that's it. Everything else I knew.
Like, I honestly believe that home economics and auto shop are more useful than any of those core classes they're taking at this point.
Teach them how to cook. That way, they don't always depend on takeout or their parents.
My life is made up of ramen now because I don't know how to cook. But thankfully, I live at home, so every night when they get back, I can actually have a warm meal. But while I was living with a friend, and yeah, my life consisted of ramen. That was it. Horribly unhealthy, but cheap.
Oh, God. But also, you can do so many things with ramen.
Oh, yes, so many things. It's like I used to steal the red pepper flakes from the Pizza Hut boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And the cheap ramen is delicious with that if you get the chicken flavor.
Well, you realize they sell spicy chicken now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've slowly been working on my cooking skills, actually. I've managed to figure out how to turn steak into a charcoal brick.
All right, I'll be right back. I gotta pee, and then I'll get right back on here.
All right. So, can I just sing the accolades of the Lord of the Rings trilogy? What a
What
great
about
set
it?
of movies. What a great set of movies, honestly.
I almost thought you said boobies.
No. Oh, that would be in reference to Terra. Or if I
Well,
did.
I'm deviant. I'm going to hear things like that.
Oh yeah. I do too, honestly. Like I said. Yeah, but yeah, they're a great set of movies. They're well directed, they're well acted, the action scenes are good. And then I went over and I looked at The Hobbit and I realized how garbage those movies are in comparison. So, no, like I honestly think the book Hobbit is on par with the others. So I don't know how they messed it up that bad. Huh. Oh wow, Straight said, man, that's terrible. Well, have you seen school food lately? Like the food they serve in their schools looks like they made it out of Play-Doh.
Okay, I'm back, and I have food.
Ooh, what'd you get?
I ate the chicken earlier before I left, but it's like barbecue. I have steak, potato salad, and baked beans. Straight Sith Male says he had a neighbor that once was mocking him because his girlfriend was helping him fix the car. Dude, that's a good girlfriend.
Now I'm surprised he actually has one that knows how to fix a car.
Do you know how many males nowadays don't know how to change a frickin' tire?
A ton. Or my dad taught me how to do it when I turned 16.
What's funny though is a lot of cars nowadays don't even come with a jack. They come with that pump with the temporary seal fix, and then you have to take it into the auto mechanic. I'm the type of person that says, "Give me a jack, give me a spare tire that's real, and I'm good to go."
Yeah, tires are expensive nowadays. These too, which makes it even worse.
$600 per tire.
Lord. I swear. I've worn mine down on my borrowed truck because I refuse to replace them because I do not have that money.
My dad went from when I was little. He would be like, "Come out here and help me with the car." So I know how to change spark plugs. I know how to change oil. I know how to change a tire. I know how to tell when tires are bald. I know how to tell when oil is low. I know where to put the water for the radiator. I know where to put the coolant. I know where to put the windshield wiper fluid. I know where to put the brake fluid. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is basic stuff.
You know, this is stuff to keep you on the road without having to spend a ton of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like most people around here can fix a tractor, a car, and a motorcycle real quick.
I keep trying to tell my roommate, she's like, you know, it's her money. Technically her car, she can do whatever the hell she wants, but she's like, I'm going to pay for, you know, the mechanic to put oil in the car. I'm like, you can spend money on getting an oil pan for me to drain the oil into, an air filter, and 3 quarts of oil or 5 quarts for the same price as what you're going to pay to have them do all that for you. And I can do it without charging you labor.
Let me tell you, it's a Ponzi scheme, you might say.
Exactly. Seamus Derby says if I have a car with no full-size spare, I buy one. My car, I didn't have a full-size spare. I had a donut. But I ended up getting a tire from a shop that already had the rim in it. And it fit my car. So they're like, do you mind getting charged another, $20 for the rim? I'm like, sure. Go for it. And they're like, do you want us to put it on another spare? And I was like, yep. So I paid another $30 for a whole nother tire. And
Aurora, would you like me to growl?
I threw out the donut because it was dry rotted anyway. And I put in the full-size spare. And, my ex was like, oh, that's taking up room in your trunk. I don't really keep much in my trunk except for, supplies to fix the car. Like I had a toolbox full of tools. I had jumper cables, an empty gas can, roadside flares, roadside cones to keep people from running into me, stuff like that. I mean, I had the whole shebang.
Yeah. Around here, there isn't really many places you can break down safely. Like, you've got, I think it's I-85 or I-73 one. And if you break down on there, on the wrong side of the road, you cannot get out.
What's going on?
Not
What's
much,
happening?
we're still streaming.
Yeah, I know. Are you off air though?
No,
we're on there. Say hi to all the people out there.
What's up, everybody? All right, because it says off air when I jumped into the Hangout.
no, I promise we're on air. I have 8 people
It will
watching. I'm not
for
getting
you
off here.
pretty much, Scooby, because you just came in, but it is on the air.
Okay, cool.
And for Aurora,
You're right, straight Sith Bell. It's not fucking rocket science on how to fix a car.
Yeah. And usually we get reliable cars around here too. Like we've got one old Camry that we've had forever, and my dad's newer truck, which isn't even that new. It's 2012.
What model?
I think it's a Toyota Tacoma, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Japanese cars are so easy to fix because almost all their parts are interchangeable.
We were never allowed to have them when I was a kid. My
Japanese cars?
Yeah. My father used to refer to anything Japanese. He used to call them the little nip tomato cans. My father fought in Korea, so he would not buy anything that was not an American vehicle and was not an 8-cylinder. My brother brought home a 6-cylinder once, and my father tore him apart. He dragged him outside, and he's like standing out there yelling at him. He's like pointing up at the flag. He's like, "What does that flag say?" He says, "Department of the Navy." He said, "That's right." He points at the thing. He goes, "Why the hell did you bring an Army vehicle to this house? Why is there a 6-cylinder in front of this house?" Like, he tore him apart. He said, "If there's a 6-cylinder, he said it should be a flatbed extended Willis. Otherwise, it shouldn't be a 6-cylinder." He said, "Now get it the hell out of here." Like, he gave him a really hard time about it. He didn't own the truck. He just didn't even want it at the house because it was an 8-cylinder. That's how the old man was, even with cars. And they had to be American.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a thing with us for a long time too.
Yeah.
While my great grandfather was alive, if he saw us driving in on that car, or we'd always get a dirty look. Couldn't do nothing anymore because the old man and could barely walk. But yeah, it was always a thing. You'd get a dirty look and a stern talking to if you showed up in anything that wasn't American.
Oh yeah. My father was the type. I told Terra about this. I don't know if I told you about this, Sir Wolfie, but my father was the type. When he had his van, he didn't like he couldn't find anything good on the radio. So I get in his van one day and the radio was missing. I go, "What happened?" He goes, "I took it off. I took the radio out." I go, "What the hell did you take the radio out?" And there's nothing on there anyway, but Mau Mau Comanche music, Jews and Democrats. I said, "Oh, okay." So,
Oh,
yeah.
My grandfather doesn't listen to the radio anymore either because he says there's nothing good on. So he just has a pile of cassette tapes, CDs, and flash drives we made of all the music he's ever loved just in his dashboard and in his console.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we find these really, like, he really likes the Primitive Quartet for some reason. Like, he really loves their music. So we'll go digging through there and we'll find 50 or 60 Primitive Quartet cassette tapes. It's just because he likes them that much.
My mother's like that with her fucking Patsy Cline music. I told her, I said, I grew up in the 90s, Ma. I said, as a teenager and in college, and that was the era of Quentin Tarantino movies. I said, so every time you put on Patsy Cline, I'm picturing somebody getting their teeth knocked out with a revolver in a diner somewhere, Like, he completely ruined music like that for me.
Yeah. For my dad, it's granddad. It's Western movies. Can't get enough of them, especially John Wayne. Especially John Wayne. There is always a John Wayne movie somewhere in the house. It's without fail.
My father was, what was it? He was a big fan of Lee Van Cleef, Bronson. The fuck is his name? He was always drunk in every movie. He had white hair. Shit, I can't think of it.
Sam Elliott or whatever?
No. Much older than him. He was in all those old westerns. I can't for the life of me think of his name. But my father was not too big of a John Wayne fan because my father was the young one out of his friends. A lot of the people that he hung out with were like World War II vets. Mm-hmm. And they used to refer to John Wayne as a chicken hawk. How he stormed the beaches of Malibu for the forces of Paramount. They would say shit like that about him. So these old timers actually did not. They liked John Wayne on a certain level, but on another level, they didn't really respect him. They thought of him as being a bit of a wannabe, but they liked him because he had he went after communists with the film guild. So they liked him for that. My father always said he redeemed himself for, when he went after the communists. My father, that was a big thing with him.
Yeah. With that, my dad never got into Clint Eastwood. Like, we tried showing him the Man with No Name trilogy. Never watched it. would not watch a single movie from Clint Eastwood, even though I love them. I loved them. That's one of my favorite trilogies of all time.
Yeah, I like John Wayne. I like Clint Eastwood to a point. I got burnt out with the westerns that they did. But the very last film that John Wayne made, I can't watch anymore. I've only watched it once. And that's because that very night that I watched it, it was actually in 3D on TV. So I had the 3D glasses. That night after it was over, my step grandfather molested me, so I can't watch that video anymore.
Oh wow!
Oh Lord!
So anytime I think of John, I watch John Wayne movies, I get flashbacks. That's one of the reasons why I can't watch them anymore.
Oh. Sorry, that really sucks.
Straight cis male go. Are you really thinking of John Wayne, Scooby?
What did he say about John Wayne?
Well,
Scooby, are
he was
you
always
thinking
drunk.
John Wayne?
Am I thinking John Wayne?
That's what straight cis male said.
I think he was in reference to the guy with white hair who was always drunk.
No. Oh God, I'm still like it'll come to me like 2 in the morning. I'll bang up like it's straight up in
Oh,
sleep.
that's the worst.
Yeah, I'll be sitting.
You're sleeping so peacefully, and then you finally got what you were looking for earlier in the day.
Yeah, it'll come to you. Lee Marvin. That's
Lee Marvin.
it. Yeah. Lee Marvin. I knew it was Lee something. He always watched westerns with guys named Lee in it. Lee Van Cleef, Lee Marvin. He
hang on. Wasn't the guy from the Big Valley called Lee something or whatever? Yes, I know what that show is because nostalgic TV networks.
You have to realize if my father was alive right now, he would be 83 years old. So this is a guy who like he always watched like Gary Cooper movies. I grew up on a lot of westerns from like the 40s and 50s.
Boy.
Yeah. Hey, what up, Cal?
Hey, Cal.
Not much.
I can't say no to my brother. He asked for the link.
Oh, very
Got
cool.
bored.
You're
It's
that
all
bored?
good.
Yeah, we've had a lot of dead air because, I was doing my get a Uber thing and things like that. So, I would blank out. So.
So, watching all these westerns has given me an appreciation for Colt revolvers.
Oh, yeah, they're beautiful.
Oh, they look so good. I wish I could afford one. Just a single action army. I want one. I want one bad. Just because I grew up looking at those things.
When I was a kid,
he might actually have one.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I actually grew up on, it was the first double action. It was the 1917 Colt. And my father had one, chambered in 44 and he always kept the thing loaded with wad cutters. Because I guess he used to, I was raised, it's actually, I remember the first time one of the first times I ever streamed with Plain Speech in 6, I had said this and they started laughing their ass off. I said, I always thought that the 9mm was the ladies' caliber. That's the way that my father, had told me it was. He said, that's the ladies' caliber 9mm. He said, that's for ladies and officers. So, officers meaning, there's enlisted men and there's officers. So, my father, I guess he did. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking.
No, not cops. He was talking like, officers like, lieutenants, captains, that sort of thing in the Navy, because he was a Navy man. And so I was raised, like a 45 and up, like 45 ACP. That's like what he kept. Yeah, I think I misspoke before. Excuse me. It wasn't in 44 Magnum, the thing. It was chambered in 45 ACP, because that's what he swore. Yeah, he swore by that. And he always said, he said, he got wad cutters. He said, because, no matter what, if you don't sever an artery, he said, you hit the bone explodes. He said, you put them down with one shot. He said, even if it isn't a fatal shot, you blow everything apart. They're not getting up and moving. So.
Oh, yeah. You said he was Vietnam?
No, Korea.
Oh, Korea. Yeah. And Navy?
Yeah, he was a Navy UDT in Korea, USS Valley Forge.
Lord, he might have met some of my dad's brothers.
Possibly. Asked them if they were stationed on the Valley Forge.
Because, we've got a pretty even smattering of Marines and Navy, and
Same here.
across those two wars, which is why my dad has a distaste for what's his name? Lord, I'm trying Carter. They do not like Carter at all. You bring up his name, and that's an offense to them.
Yeah, Carter was not liked in this. Bless you. He wasn't liked in this house either. Bless you.
Sorry, allergy season for me.
It's okay.
Like one of my great uncle Ed's, who they say I look like, and I kind of see it because we got the same jawline. Girlfriends brought up Carter in a positive light. She was not welcome back in that house. She was kicked out, permanently banned.
I can understand that. Like it's not politics we took seriously in this house because my family, especially my mother's family, because I didn't really talk to my father's family too much. It was just it is what it is. But they were also all very heavily involved, Marines, Navy. And it's always been a thing because we're an immigrant family. You know, we've only been in this country since 1935, I think, maybe a little bit earlier on my mother's side, maybe 1930. But yeah, we've only been in this country for maybe 80 years or so. So, and I'm only second generation American myself, but that having been said, everyone when they came here, even some of the ones who came in through Ellis Island, like my uncles, they came in, turned around, and I fought against people from their own country because, bless you, they believe in this country, or they did. They're past now, but all them, they all fought in World War II, and my father fought in Korea. My cousin actually fought in Hamburger Hill in Vietnam. He was a consultant on the movie. Yeah, and what you call it? My one uncle, the one who fought on Hamburger Hill, his father, my uncle, he was OSS during World War II. He was, I believe, Swiss OSS. Whether I don't believe he was from Switzerland. Next time I see my cousin, I gotta actually ask him. I don't know what the deal was, but I just know he was with Switzerland during the war, and he was a spy, that Checkpoint Charlie shit and all that. I mean, Christ, the whole family is still, like involved with the military, like my cousins and everything. That's what they do for work. I got my one cousin is DOD. A few others work for Northrop Grumman. Doing all sorts of shit in the defense industry. It's what the family's done since they came here. Hey, Kelty, you all right, bro?
You must be moving around.
Yeah, seriously, he just started spurging out.
Yeah, he's moving around.
Yeah, going into the military was something my family did for a long time until right after Vietnam. Then my dad went into brick mason work, and
you are roboting bad, Kelt.
Kelt, you've gone beyond robot. You are destroying a program eating itself alive now.
Yeah, I muted him just for his own good. Good Lord. Oh, that hurt my ears.
But my dad went into brick mason work instead.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had lost a few one brother in Vietnam. He'd seen once Ed came back, they had a bad relationship after he came back, and he was just like, no more, I'm done. And no one's gone in since. Of course, none of the men have been eligible to either. Because we're all flat-footed and nearsighted.
I wasn't allowed to go in because I didn't pass the psychological. Passed all the physical, but then they told me I was crazy. So, here's what it is. I really did want to...
Why didn't you just try the Marines? They take anyone still.
That's who I was trying to get in with.
Holy
Lord,
fuck.
you were too crazy for the Marines?
Yeah. Yeah, I was raised. I tell everybody all the time. You have to understand. I used to say, my father was GI Joe and my brother was Captain America, and I say that tongue in cheek, but it was all my brother ever used to read was it's all Marvel. This is back when Marvel was good in the 80s. I remember when I was a kid, he would have copies of the Nam. He would have copies of the Punisher. He'd have copies of Captain America, and he'd have copies of GI Joe lying all over his room, and Wolverine. And that's what my brother would read. And my father, may rest in peace, he was, I tell people all the time, he was in the Navy in Korea. And then later on, when the 60s started winding up with Vietnam, my father went and enlisted in the National Guard because he hated fucking hippies. I mean, with a violent passion. And he told me, he said it was the only way he could stay out of jail was, they give you the uniform and you go take the baton and beat the shit out of them. So that's what my father did during the 60s and into the 70s was he quelled the riots in, like the city and in Harlem and shit, beating the fuck out the hippies with the bat when they were thrown. That's the reason we had German Shepherds when I was a kid. He always used to say if they were good enough for the SS and good enough for the NYPD, they were good enough for him. So, we had Shepherds all over this house when I was a boy. And they came in handy because a few times they came up over the fence and I'd wake up in the morning, there'd be blood all over the patio. And
Lord.
well, yeah, because they were trying to break into the house. And
Yeah. Useful dog.
Oh yeah, beautiful dogs. Great dogs too.
Yeah.
They don't make too much noise when they're ripping somebody apart either.
Yeah, that's a problem our dogs have. We have black and tan, so they'll just bark their heads off whenever another one of them's tearing up something. Because they want a piece of it too. Like any small animals that gets into Thorn's cage, they're done. They're done, and you can tell he's at them because the other ones start barking.
And Thorn is his personal dog.
Yeah, because actually, I don't even know if you can call him a dog. We think he's part black bear.
Oh, right.
Because he's huge.
That is cool.
I'll film a video of him walking around one of these days. Because he thinks he's stealthy, but he's not. Because he slinks real low to the ground, but he's still huge.
I have to see. I'll ask my sister. Me and her really don't talk too much, just because she's a little bit nuts, and she doesn't come around for whatever reason. She's got a lot. She has a full plate. To be fair, I shouldn't really call her a little bit nuts because she's an agoraphobe and she's just a bit weird. But I'll have to ask her next time she calls. Because again, I can't even call her. She never answers. I have to wait till she calls. It's a fun game having siblings. But I'm gonna wait until
child.
I'm the youngest of 7. So yeah, when she calls, I'll ask her if she has a picture of her dog. Her hippie husband had went and got this dog off of a friend of his. This old black blues musician. I don't know how the hell he knew this guy, but this dog was the guy's sisters or some shit, and they gave this dog to the hippie because my sister was known as being like the dog whisperer before that show was even around.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave her this dog. This was the biggest Rottweiler I'd ever seen in my life. Everyone referred to it around here as the holy shit dog. Because the first thing you said whenever you seen this dog was holy shit. It was. I know his name.
Quiz is gonna fix that video.
Oh, cool! Thank you. He is the man.
Yeah. Your own wife betrayed you.
She's just not too. She wasn't thinking. She felt horrible afterwards. It was just, it's a new thing for her. She doesn't. It's
understand the internet.
No, it's not that she doesn't understand the internet. You have to understand where we live. These people that these Antifa these dirty little things. They're
actually
like, this is my neighbor's children. You got what I'm saying? These are like yeah, because I'm a New Yorker, and these are all these. That's where all these people are from, and
aren't they worshipped as heroes down there?
It's not that they're worshipped as heroes around here. It's just that it's everyone's kids. This is what they do. They go and they're LARPing as revolutionaries. It's basically everyone is doing, well, this is what grandma told us that she used to do in the 60s. So, it doesn't matter that the kids are doing this. This is basically all of I'm nearly 40. This is all of my friends' kids, basically. And I tell them, I say, what the hell is the matter with you? And some of my friends, they're like, look, I tell my daughter, I don't know what the hell's the matter with her. She's nuts.
We're not beaten enough as a child.
A lot of them, they tried raising them as best they could, and I say this all the time: it's the social media and it's the damn smartphones
and the schools. Oh Lord, the schools are just Marxist factories.
Yes, that's the main problem. Is they're getting it from all sides. They're getting this reinforcement, and I say this constantly, and I'm not conservative by a long shot.
Neither are we.
It's the thing of it is, I got a problem with things that are just like indecent. Like, I'm not normally a moralist, but when you're obviously trying to corrupt children, and when I say obviously, you look at people like Miley Cyrus, you look at people like Nicki Minaj.
There's something wrong with that girl.
You look at people like Katy Perry, and you look at people like Beyonce Knowles, and they have overly sexualized these girls. Holy shit, have they overly sexualized them? Like, I'm not saying this tooting my own horn. I mean, I'm actually scared to go out to like bars or clubs because these younger girls now, these girls like, 25, 20 to 25, especially now because they turned all the boys into such, limp wrists that not even that they're gay. Yeah, not even that they're gay. I mean, they're straight as an arrow, but they're as limp as a noodle. It's holy shit. It's amazing to me how weak these boys have become. But because of this now, these overtly sexual girls that they've done this to, I go out to a bar or a club. My God, I got the shiniest wedding band I could get to make sure it's like off limits. Back the fuck off, honey. Seriously.
No, they don't care nowadays.
Yeah, it doesn't phase them one bit.
Oh, you have a wedding ring? Cool. I get another one to share with.
Yeah, seriously.
Scooby, what happened when you showed me you were married? I stopped flirting, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
As soon as it happened, it was like cut off.
For the most part, you still can't help yourself.
This is playful flirting. Before, it was real flirting.
All right.
Do you understand the difference?
You're a pretty good-looking guy.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Well, lately, I've been getting that a lot since I started doing this shit on YouTube. So it's something I gotta get used to. I've only been hearing this since like November.
Scooby, if I was gay.
You did a half decent impression of Adamantine there too, by accident. So it works even better.
Oh man.
But yeah.
I've been hearing this a lot lately, and I understand that there's a difference, Terra. It's just.
Like all the limp wrist, I can tell you, too much flag football, not enough actual sports.
Yeah.
And being told, yeah, it's okay for you to be a natural boy.
Oh, I could give a fuck about the sports. To me, sports is part of the problem. Sports to me has always been part of the problem because sports, it puts these kids into castes. It puts all the big lunkhead friggin' meathead boys together, and they pick on the smaller kids. I always said
was a nerd.
I was a nerd too, but I was a big nerd. But this is the thing.
Same here.
I loved going to school because when I was at school, that was the only time I wasn't doing physical labor. My father worked me like I was a slave. Now, not because, he didn't want to pay for anything, because he was raised by, his parents were not American born. His parents were,
And you're
Sicilians.
Catholics. And
Yes.
Catholics, so sloth is one of your things you are really not supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
was
it
raised
was,
Catholic.
yeah. And we did not. When I say he worked me like a slave, people get this picture in their head immediately of him sitting there in a lawn chair watching. I'm working as hard as I can, and the old man is, like outpacing me because he's doing the same shit. That's just how it was. You didn't hire somebody to do something. Get the fuck out of here. No. Go get the shovels and the pickaxes. We're doing this right now. That's how it was. And so, like, I enjoyed going to school just because it kept me from not having to do work with him. But, when he was even home, I would used to cry when it was going to rain because I knew he wasn't, pouring cement that day. That meant he was going to be home and we were going to be outside working. But, the thing I always said, like with sports, yeah, these kids should learn certain sports for coordination purposes, teamwork, yada, yada,
Oh, yeah.
yada, bullshit,
But-
bullshit, bullshit. But as far as physical activity, why don't you get them outside and make them do something constructive? And I'm not saying this flippantly. Have them build like a fucking log cabin as a class project. Seriously. Have
Oh,
these
yeah, that
kids-
would be cool. Wish
Yeah.
they did that instead of learning how to play soccer, also known as throw yourself on the ground and pretend to be hurt simulator.
Yeah, well, we played soccer up here, and you got to realize everyone was from like Italy, or they were from Spain, or they were like Puerto Rican, or
So
because
they took it seriously.
not just that, these kids would beat the bejesus of you. Soccer was actually like a contact sport up here. It was actually hard and fierce. I played soccer up until I went into high school.
Yeah, down
And-
here it was baseball. Who said baseball isn't a contact sport?
Yeah,
At least once per game there would break
Or
out a
fucking
fight. with
kickball. Oh my god. Down here,
Mhm.
kickball is a contact sport.
With baseball, you'd have someone would crack someone over the knees with the baseball bat, and then it would devolve into an all-out brawl.
yeah.
Man, those
Every-
were fun.
We played basketball a lot too, but I didn't play like in a league or on a team per se with basketball or hockey. I played like on a street team with hockey, but that's just a bunch of guys on rollerblades. Baseball, lacrosse. I mean, it's New York. All sports are big here because there's enough people to make them big. But like what I played was soccer. But that's the thing. A lot of it now, I see that a lot of these kids, they don't play sports like they used to.
Yeah, it's
Like-
all flag football and not touching one another.
No, I mean they don't even go out and play anymore. They're all inside with their fucking games and their
know.
phones and shit. You know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they still make them like my neighborhood actually makes them play like real football, and because I live, my neighborhood was always known for being fiercely conservative and fiercely Republican. That's how this neighborhood always was.
Yeah.
And it lately, since like I want to say probably since like Reagan, it was always Republican, because before that, this neighborhood was really heavily Democrat. This was a very racist neighborhood for years. This was the home of the Nazi Party in America during the 30s and 40s. This was as blue as it could get in this part of like New York, and then it changed with Reagan, and it never went back. So this neighborhood has always been like unbelievably Republican and conservative. It flipped a little bit during like the 30s and 40s, with the Nazis, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's forget about it. Sports here, oh my God, the sports here are definitely full contact. You got to see these
Yeah.
kids; they bang into each other. We have a lot of our kids leave this school, go to Hofstra, and go straight from Hofstra to the New York Jets. They're like farmed out. So
Note says the first thing I hear when I get in is Wolfie trying to get into Scooby's pants.
Yeah. And,
oh God.
and
I try to get in
Around
everybody's
here.
pants.
around here when I was in school, I didn't play sports, but I'm just naturally a big dude. And the minute I hit puberty, I started getting a lot of muscle mass in my arms and stuff. It's kind of a thing in our family. We don't have to work for it. We just get naturally muscle bound.
Yeah.
But I was still a big nerd, so people kept trying to mess with me.
Don't mind my asking, how big are you?
Uh, uh I'm around 6'1" now, but
Mhm.
weigh about 190, 200 pounds.
Okay.
And if I punch you, you're going to go home with something broken.
I hear that.
No, I wouldn't.
Because, I actually got taught how to punch. That was
Yeah.
like once
I
they
was taught
noticed.
how to punch by my mom.
Yeah,
Same
the
here.
one I came home from school with one black eye. The immediate thing that happened was I got taught how to box.
Oh my god, I have Captain Brambles in my chat.
Oh, what
Hey,
up?
Brambles.
Ask him if he wants to hop in.
Do you want to hop in, Brambles? I can have somebody give you the link.
Like, besides my dad teaching me how to fight,
Mhm.
I got experience because both my uncles were big into fighting each other too. Because they didn't get along for a while. So I get to watch them and take notes.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then I picked up a lot of stuff of just hanging around and watching other people. Then once I started getting into it, I was good at it.
Brambles says he's good. Thank you, though.
Hey, it's all cool. Maybe next time.
Yeah. There are assigned birthday presents around here too. On your 7th birthday, you get a pocket knife. By 3 months later, you know how to use that thing to make bows and arrows and such from the hickory branches.
That's really cool.
When you turn 13, you get your first rifle. It's probably a 22. When your dad goes out and teaches you how to shoot. And every year after, and when you turn 16, you get an old beat up car to fix. That's the birthday presents that we've gotten. Every male in my family gets the same one. Every same time of year.
That sounds really cool. And, I wish that I actually had an experience like that. My father would not let me get any guns or any knives. It's not like my father was a liberal. It's just the crime was so bad. And my father thought I had not that he was wrong. He had this opinion of me that I was a very kind-hearted person. And he was afraid. He would say, no, Pachorta, if you have a knife, they're going to take it away from you and stab you with it. Poor old man, he didn't know me that well. But, he didn't want me having like knives or guns. So he was very. My brother used to resent me because, my father used to baby me, and my brother knew I wasn't like that at all. So my brother hated me for that, because my father had this opinion of me like I was, like the saint. And I wasn't like a bad kid. I was actually a bit of a goody-goody, but I wasn't
But when you
naive
did
either.
something, you knew not to get caught. You knew how not to get caught for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And my brother
mastered the same thing.
Yeah. And it was a bit of a problem dealing with the old man when I was younger. Because
didn't your dad change your mind after you got stabbed?
No, that was. I actually didn't let him even know that happened. Believe it or not, my mother knew about it. I don't think my father ever even found out that I got stabbed.
Worst thing that happened here is that I had one of those handmade bows and accidentally hit my male cousin in the back with one of the arrows. Because they taught us how to make arrows from the bush too. Really cool.
That's part of the reason that I think we developed a lawsuit culture in the 90s. Because when I was a kid, in the 80s into the early 90s, everyone's parents started becoming real assholes because people started suing because their kids wound up going to the hospital when someone was watching the kids. Like you'd be over someone's house playing or whatever, and someone would get injured, and next thing you know, you're getting sued.
Yeah, whatever happened to just talking it out? Like if it's an accident, like I was born in '97.
That's the year I graduated.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Lord, but yeah, throughout my life, So poor kid fell off the swings. Sued. Suddenly, no more swings.
Yeah, it's exactly
Weird.
what it was like. That started up here. Like that years ago. Ugh.
Around here, you don't get much suing.
I think that California is the only one that beats us out, like when it comes to suing people. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's California's the lawsuit capital.
Lord.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about California. Because when I was in 12th grade, we got a California transplant down here.
Transplant?
She came from California and brought her Californian self with her. This girl, she was a bicycle. Everyone got a ride or two.
God, a town bicycle. Everyone had a ride.
Oh yeah, and everyone got 2 or 3. Be with this one.
I never got one.
You didn't live in my area.
How do you know?
The thing is, she was an airhead.
Oh, those are the best ones.
Oh yeah, and one of her boyfriends, and of course, was at her house one time, and her dad caught him in there, and this guy was a friend of mine, and they
When you
decided
say
to sue the
in
poor
there, when you say
Yeah,
in there, you mean
literally.
like?
Yes.
Oh wow, that'll
He
do
was
it.
not only in her room, he was in there. Buddy of mine,
Damn.
real nice dude. Well, her dad caught him, and yeah, he ended up getting sued for that crud.
Wow.
And that's why that
On
girl.
what ground?
Breaking and entering and trespassing.
So I guess what the judge they ruled it as penetration is breaking and entering.
No, he broke one of the window. He broke one of the windows in there with her.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say, damn, that's a bit of a reach.
Yeah, like I said, this girl was an airhead, and instead of opening the window, she made him bust through it.
Is that how the dad knew something was up from the broken glass? Or noticed the window was broken?
Well, if you know how to throw a rock right, you can bust the window out pretty easily. They found the rock and the shattered pieces of the window. Lord, I wonder what happened to that guy. I haven't seen him in years.
Well, hopefully he moved on from doing that sort of thing, and he's doing well.
Oh yeah, like I said, always the nicest dude.
Usually what happens.
Dude, if I'd been at your school, I would have beat that bitch's ass.
Oh no, you couldn't touch her.
I wouldn't. No.
Like,
I would have beat her ass, and then I would have beaten everyone else's ass that tried to beat mine.
But this girl, she knew she looked good.
They always do.
And we had male teachers, so anytime anyone tried to call her on dress code, she just said, yeah, they were looking at me. That's how they knew. Ooh, and no one could challenge her. Because she actually got a reputation for doing that kind of crud. Haven't seen her in years either. Probably
trust me. If I'd been there, she wouldn't have been doing that shit anymore. I'm telling you. I had a girl in my high school kind of like that. Only for some reason she had something against me. I don't know what. I seriously had never met her before. And one day she comes up to me during lunch and starts talking shit in my face. And I just looked at her. I'm like, who the fuck are you? And she's like, I'm so-and-so. And I was like, okay, and? You're doing this, this, and this. And I'm like, I ain't doing shit. You know, I'm sitting at my table with my friends. I'm not doing a fucking thing to bother you. Go along.
Yeah.
So you know, she decides, you know, and she's a cheerleader too.
Oh, they're always cheerleaders. I swear.
She decides she's going to have her and her friends try and jump me after school.
Stay evil, dogface.
And in order to do this, they busted out the, you know, they popped the air in my tires on my bike. So I had to walk home. Well, unbeknownst to them, instead of having books in my book bag so it's harder to swing, all I had in there was one book and a U-shaped bicycle lock.
Mm-hmm. Those things hurt.
And they went to attack me, and I started swinging that book bag, and I knocked her right in the fucking face. She didn't come to school for 3 days.
For me, it was the football team. Because I said the captain had a head shaped like the can of dog food.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay, then. You were telling the truth.
Yeah, I already, by the time I made it to high school, I had already had enough of the people I went to school with. Because they were idiots. So yeah, if I didn't like someone, I told them exactly what I thought of them.
When I was a kid, my father, he still worked for the union driving, and he drove a cement mixer, but he had access to like the yard materials, like different things. Same with my brother; they both drove for the local. So my brother would bring home for me the bricks that you would use when you were setting something up, the red bricks with the 3 holes in the middle.
Oh, I know what those are. My dad's a brick mason. Lord.
Yeah.
I still got a pile of those lying in my backyard.
Yeah, well, you know what those are really good for? Those are really good for if you can get your hands on extra textbooks, which is what my brother told me to do. He's like, just take an extra textbook out of the classroom. I said, okay. So I took the books home because I'm listening to him. And he showed me you cut out the inside, like you're hollowing it out, like you're going to hide
You put the brick in.
Mm-hmm. And you crazy glue the book closed, and you put them in the school bag. Now, I'm about 6'2" and change. By the time I graduated high school, I was about 289, maybe 293. I think I was at my peak when I was a teenager, and I was putting up about 475. That's when I used to weightlift. So when I was in high school, walking around with that school bag full of bricks all day really helped me get bulky. But that was the thing he told me because I was having a lot of trouble because of my size. By the time I was 12, I was already 6'2" and I think it was about maybe 2 1/4. And I had to cut past the high school coming home. And the kids in the town, they'd see me and they didn't recognize who's this big guy walking through the school. They didn't know I was like 11 years old. So I would get into fights with like 18-year-olds when I was like, 10, 11, 12 years old because they thought I was like from another town. And that's part of the reason I started carrying the school bag full of bricks. So during like when I was having my growth spurts in puberty, I was walking around with a school bag full of bricks. So by the time I graduated, I was like a monster. But that was one of the things that, he taught me when I was younger was, just take this. And I remember there was a few times they tried to jump me. I batted the shit out of them with that school bag.
Getting jumped was never a problem. You always knew when the fight was going to come down because you helped decide it. Like,
well, when it came to these chicks, they didn't know how to, be stealthy in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
I heard them giggling when I saw my bike. I could hear them in the woods, the dumb bitches.
Morons.
And so I looked around. I didn't see them. But as I'm walking along the road, because they made sure to jump me after I had gotten a good distance away from the school. And they jumped me at this apartment complex that used to be known as Covered Bridge. Because I was going to cut through there to, make it shorter on me to walk on through. And so they decided, because they ran ahead to get past because you have to cross a main road. So, yeah, they you also know when they don't, when it's coming because they're too eager to jump you that they can't be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the place you used to fight in, well, the place you still go to fight in my town was right behind where I used to work. Or the building's condemned and such now. Oh, but yeah, if you have a problem with someone, you'd invite them over there. You'd bring a stick or something in case they pulled anything, and you just fight. No, because you couldn't do it on the school because they would get you for it. They didn't used to, but they had to start doing it while I was in there because my parents was suing us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you go out to that field, you fight. The store that used to be there didn't mind about it. That if you won, you got a free drink ink from me.
I remember once my father made me go down the block and fight this kid, and some pearl clutching neighbor called the cops. My father's standing there watching. And I'll never forget it. These fucking pigs get out the car and they see how big I am. And the first thing that this little bastard does, he was either Spanish or Italian. I don't know what the fuck this cop was. He takes out his nightstick and he starts swinging it at me. And the other cop's walking up behind him. And my father yells at both of them, "Yo, what the fuck do you two think you do?" And then he's standing there with his arms crossed. And they look at him and they go, "Excuse me?" He said, "It's my son." And so they looked at him like startled for a second. He said, "These boys have a personal problem." He said, "They're down here handling it themselves." He said, "What the hell are you two doing here?" And they had like this dazed expression on their face. They weren't used to people doing this. No one did this now. Even though it was like 20-something years ago, people didn't do this still at that point. And
whatever
just
happened
didn't
to fighting out your problems.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing in New York. Like the first thing this little piece of shit did was take out his baton. And he's lucky that I was a kid, because if he did that to me now, I have no shame in saying I'd cripple that fucking cop. If I wasn't crippled myself, but
I wouldn't blame you. But like fighting out your problems, I made some of the best friends I ever knew.
Yeah.
Like, you hate each other, you go out, you fight, you're friends. You're friends now.
It builds character.
You have an innate respect for that person now.
Yeah. That, and it if you've been punched in the face a few times, you've been kicked, you've been stomped, if you've lost, if you've had that sort of like physical shit happen to you, the other struggles in life, they aren't as bad. Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, you realize life becomes a lot more mundane as you get older. When you start to look back on certain things and the things that you got into fights about, and it sucks for me because I tell Terra and I tell a few other people she understands, because like when we stream with Burnside's in a similar sort of situation because he's in Chicago. But when it gets to the point where I'm at that point in my life, I don't want confrontation. When I say confrontation, I don't want to go out and risk where I might come home bloody. And that's how it is in my neighborhood. If I go out to certain bars or clubs in this town, I'll get the living shit beat out of me right now. Because I'm of a certain political leaning and I'm of a certain persuasion. I don't like dirty scumbags.
There's a bunch of people my age fully ready to beat you up for that.
Yeah, because I don't like dirty scumbags. I don't like people, who are of a certain way. Like, I don't know, you shouldn't be molesting children. I don't like that. And a lot of these guys, they'll be like the young girls will be out, like the high school girls who aren't in school now because it's summer, and they go out and wander the streets as teenage girls do. And you dirty fucks, I don't care how good they look away from them. So it's one of those, oh, Scooby, you're a goody. Stay the fuck out of here. So,
yeah.
I
think at that point you have the divine right to lay all the beating you can put on that person.
Oh, they'll kick the shit out of me at this point. My back is too fucked up. That's why I can't go out.
Yeah. I thankfully maintained able-bodied, despite my own stupidity trying to cripple me a few times.
Good. But what do you expect? You're from North Carolina.
Hey, it's West Virginia. That's the stupid ones. West Virginia, marry your sister, do something stupid with the rest of your life. But like that, like there was this kid I had a problem with, who I will only refer to as Dale Gribble, and this little guy, he was a thief, because worst kind of person, because he'd lie right to your face, then come in the middle of the night, steal your animals. And so I go down. So he stole all my rabbits, because I had rabbits I raised for no good reason. And besides, a kid in the neighborhood bought them, moved out, abandoned them, so I took them in. And he decided it was a good idea to steal one of these rabbits. So I go down to his house. This moron tries to drop a bale of hay on me. Because as Dale Gribble is in the worst part of the word, white trash.
Sounds like it's stealing your rabbits and throwing hay at you.
Oh yeah, and he stole one of my bikes too. Still rides it around to this day.
Don't worry, ethnic folks have their own. My cousin, he used to, I think he's still licensed with Grucci. I don't know. I don't talk to the little prick. I bought some fireworks off of him a few years ago, and the little motherfucker sold me big, beautiful rockets. And he knew how to do it. He took out the insides of the rockets for whatever reason and sold me the shit. Took all the chemical components out and just left the propellant in and filled them up with sawdust. And used the propellants, not the propellants, excuse me, used all of the stuff that was inside and made his own fireworks with it at the house, but sold me all this shit for like $200.
Oh, I would have beat his ass.
Oh yeah.
He's a cripple. He walks like his knees touch. He's that badly got cerebral palsy. Dirty bastard.
Around here, we can't even fire off good fireworks. If they go into the air, you can't have them here.
Oh yeah, they're completely illegal here. What I did was very, very bad. But statute of limitations, it was over a decade ago. So
it's why we go down to South Carolina with my uncle to shoot off fireworks every year, because they don't have any laws about it.
I'm actually going to film on the 4th because it's my wife's birthday. I'm going to let you see. This neighborhood particularly is notorious for our illegal fireworks show. It looks like some shit you'd see like in like the city or something. Not like people pay for them to do, but it's all these people around here. There's all like these drug dealers and bikers and gangsters and gangbangers and all this shit. So they have these really kick-ass parties and barbecues, and some of them take like 50-gallon drums. They dig a hole in the ground and they use that as a mortar tube, and they're shooting off these mortars. They get mortars like 20, 30-pound mortars. These things look like fucking cannonballs. They're the size of a friggin' dodgeball, and they throw them in these and they start shooting them off, and you hear it, and it's crazy. The whole sky it will light up, and it looks like the ones in the beginning of the Honeymooners.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Around here, most people don't care about the fireworks law anyway.
Oh, it's a tradition here.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you said North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
How could you not be into fireworks down there? The rockets, red glare, and all that shit.
Because we elected the wrong people and they banned them. South Carolina, however, they love their fireworks.
Well, yeah, you got Fort Sumter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but there's a really nice one I like to buy down there. It's called the Jolly Roger. Always good. Lasts like 3 minutes. It's just pure fire. And Lord, you gotta get away from that one before it goes off.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I don't like to play with explosives. I'll watch them. I have no problem paying $5-10 to get in some place and watch some guy in a t-shirt, blow himself up.
Yeah. We light our own. So you gotta get really good at running. So they pick the ones that were really good at running and really good at with a lighter.
Oh yeah, no, and I've lit them and that's the thing. I've lit enough where they've been like defective, where the thing has just exploded instead of took off. So by God's grace, I didn't blow my face off. So that's one of the things is I said fuck it. Before I was 30, I said I'm not setting off no more explosives. I don't do it. If I'm there and unfortunately you'll be over somebody's house and their fucking dickhead kid will show up and he's got some teenage bundle of breasts he's trying to nail, so he's naturally got explosives and he's gonna then I'll take them away from the kid. Roman candles I hate. Those are the ones that go off. I had one
those are the ones you can hold in your hand.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I had it like this and I'm shaking it and all of a sudden the thing broke and wrapped around my entire arm and then went off. So I'm standing there and luckily I had on a sweatshirt because the whole Roman candle exploded around my arm and went on fire. And I just happened to be next to a pool, so I stuck my arm in the pool immediately, took my arm out, and the sweatshirt I was wearing, it was completely scorched. It had scorch marks around it, yeah.
For Roman candle goes off wrong, it'll mess you up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I still remember my dad has a cautionary story about those things because one of his brothers got himself a cherry bomb and tried to throw it into his class because he didn't like the teacher after school. It bounced back off the window. He grabbed it and blew off most of his hand.
Yeah, my father had a friend. He introduced me to the man. The man had bless you. The man had hooks. Fucking hooks. Yeah. He said, "Oh, you want to play with fireworks? Come on, I want you to go meet my friend Greg." That's how he was. Like, whenever my father wanted to deter me from something, he would show me to a friend of his who was missing body parts from whatever I was interested in doing. You gotta hear. I don't want to seriously go on, but I could tell you one day. I told Terra and I think I told Wolfie a few times about the fucking horror stories because my father was a fisherman on the side, and him and his old salts, his friends, they were all Old Navy, and they would all sit there and tell me these fucking horror stories about the sea. I hate the fucking ocean because of them.
Scooby, nope says, get one of those hollow metal crutches, take off the bottom section, drop the bottle rockets down the tubes. You can shoot them at people, or the air and stuff.
I remember the year we forgot a mortar round in the box and threw it on the fire. And suddenly we just hear something like gunshots going off.
Damn, you're lucky you guys didn't get hurt.
Oh no, we were. By the time the fire reached that thing, we had already gone back inside.
Oh, okay.
But we thought it was going off like gunshots, and we didn't know what it was.
Hey, what up, Burnside?
Hey, Burnside.
Hey, is this thing working now, or
yes.
is Rahm Emanuel still trying to?
Yeah, I can hear you.
To see the communists didn't get you.
Yeah, well, I had to outsmart them.
See, I thought you meant you had
that ain't very
fireplace like me.
Ain't very hard. There's a reason they're communists.
Yeah.
Here's what I did. I literally turned the phone off, plugged it in, put it in the fridge, let it charge, and then I rebooted it several times.
Don't you love how your technology, you got to stick it in the fridge so you can use it?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird, right? I have to put it in the fucking fridge like it's a goddamn sandwich.
But
yeah.
So how does a freezer ever die?
We had
If the fridge dies here, we're all screwed.
My family is a believer in experiences teach better than any horror story ever could.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I played football. I got a broken ankle.
Ooh, fun.
Well, I went out and decided to make my own spear. I had to ply my own nail out of my hand.
Good. Makes a tough man.
It taught me not to be stupid and try to make a spear out of nails and a piece of wood.
Yep.
I grew up when I was a kid. that, like, macho, the term macho and macho behavior and macho man and macho, all that shit. My father sneered at that. Like, it was never something, manhood, manliness was not something he ever even, it never crossed his lips. It was a given. It wasn't something he had to teach me. I just was supposed to know it. It was one of those things.
Yeah, you were
Mhm.
supposed
And
to inherently know.
yeah, and like, to give you an idea what type of man my father was, like I said, he handled a lot of fish because he was a fisherman as well as driving a cement mixer. And he would get warts on his hands from handling certain species of fish. So the way my father got rid of warts, he didn't buy any Dr. Scholl's. What he did was he took out his buck knife, he cut the warts off of his hands, flipped it around. It was a Swiss Army, and he could close the. He was the one that had the bucket blade in it, and he would flip it around, and it had the corkscrew, and he would use the corkscrew, and he'd pull the warts out using the corkscrew, and then he would take the car lighter and he would corduroys the craters that were left on his hands.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
fucking metal.
Yeah,
And
that's some
when
battlefield medicine.
and he would reach in and he would take out his crazy glue, and he would cover over the burnt craters. He would fill them up with the crazy glue, and that was it. And that's how he handled warts. And that's how
that ain't
yeah.
that ain't
Good
battlefield
night,
or
Miss
redneck
Captain Brambles.
medicine. I don't
Yeah.
know what is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some good field surgery,
every
man.
fin-
Fuck.
Yeah. My dad still has a piece of metal stuck in the area between his thumb and index finger from where he got impaled on some steel stuff. He broke it off, left it in his hand because he wasn't going to take that out. Disinfected it, and it's still there to this day. You can see it too because it's a little blue ball right in the middle of his hand.
Yeah, my
Damn.
father was like that. He had this dent in the middle of his head right here. He was at work at one of these cement plants, and he could have got a good lawsuit for this. But back then, if you sued, that was something you don't do that. You're
Yeah,
a
that wasn't
dirtbag.
something to be
Scooby
proud
Nope
of.
says, "Yep, I'm not eating right now." You
Yeah,
turn Nope
yeah, pick-
off of eating.
Cool. Sorry, nope. My bad. And
But
Yeah.
Does
The
Scooby
pipe in
eat
the-
cookie dough?
actually, I just remembered. I just remembered the
Does he
one
eat his?
cautionary story my dad ever told me.
I'm not Ron Jeremy.
There was only one. So my dad had something like 16 brothers and sisters because that's
You're
how many
welcome,
he
Terra.
had back in the day when he was a kid.
Mhm.
And two of them, and he told me the story where two of them that weren't much older than him decided to go play out in the rain during a lightning storm. They were like playing around down there. Lightning came down, struck both of them dead on the spot. That was the only, and that was the only story he ever told me of cautionary instead of letting me learn it on my own.
My father didn't. Yeah, he would always like to give you an idea. I would tell people this, and they thought my father was cruel, which I guess you could say if you want he was cruel. I didn't see it as being cruel myself. Like, he didn't buy me a helmet or pads when I had roller skates. His thing was, you're gonna learn or you're gonna injure yourself. And
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah,
I never learned
I
how to
never
roller
wore them.
skate too well because of that. Because fuck that, I kept falling. And
I just never wore them.
well, I was always tall and lanky when I was a kid, so I just the roller skate. And plus,
It throws off
look
your
at
center of balance.
yeah. Plus, not just that, he bought me the old-fashioned metal skates, and naturally, he did what any parent would do. You oil the skates, the inside of the wheel. So these skates, like, you put them on your feet, and the wheels, like. Granted, if I knew how to roller skate, I probably could have got it up to like 80 miles an hour with these fucking things. 'Cause, he put like the white lightning lithium, like the white lithium grease on the inside of these things. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. Well, that's how he was. And I remember my mother saying to him, "You didn't think maybe it was a little bit much?" Because my brother had put him on because he knew how to roller skate, and he came in and he's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, those things. He said, "What did you do to those roller skates?" He said, "I was able to outrace the mail truck down the block with them on."
Outrace the mail truck.
Well, the guy in the mail truck, he had finished the delivery, so he was tearing up the block. And my brother came from the mail truck was already halfway up the block, and my brother came roaring up past him, and went around him and in front of him. And he told my father,
shit!
I beat him to the stop sign, and he was already halfway down the block. What the hell did you do to him? And my father was the type, I don't want to say he was a little bit ignorant on certain things, like when I learned how to. Not eccentric, a little ignorant. When I learned how to shoot a gun, I didn't learn on a 22. The old man immediately, it's okay. You're gonna learn on a 308. That's just how he was. Yeah, that's how he was. So, when I learned how to shoot a pistol, it was a 45. That's not 22 pistol. No. 45 caliber revolver. Here you go. Big hunk of friggin' metal. Clank. And
I had to knock you over at least once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing. He was like a cigar store Indian with that thing. He would take the shot, and he wouldn't waver because, like I said, he was an old war horse. So I remember
he looks for half a second, then takes a shot.
He would take the shot, and there's no recoil. He's standing there stoically, and that's probably why towards the end of his life he was probably so banged up from doing shit like that, holding the gun so tightly that your entire body doesn't move after you shoot. It's a 45 caliber. There's supposed to be recoil. There's supposed to be muzzle travel. So, no, he'd hold the thing and he'd shoot it, and it's okay, there's no kick to this thing. Then I shoot the thing, and I nearly freaking tear a disc.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, we are at 5 minutes till, because we have been invited to the Minions.
Oh, very cool.
I'll make sure to
watch. I never get invited anymore.
Party at the Minions. I think the reason why you didn't get invited is because there's accusations of you allegedly raping or having sexual intercourse with a giraffe.
What?
Oh my goodness!
It's in the zoo pamphlet. Please do not have sexual intercourse with the giraffes. So I assumed, being the crazy bastard you are,
I thought that was for the humans.
Sure, it doesn't
man.
say don't sodomize the giraffes.
I thought it was for the humans.
So Wolfie, you're the reason that Toys R Us closed down. Jeffrey couldn't take it.
Oh my goodness!
All right, we're gonna start from my left. That would be my baby brother.
Oi.
Shill what you can. I don't care if you shill other people's shit. Shill.
Yeah, I have a channel, not much on it.
Is that all you're saying?
What else can I say?
Okay, fine. Death Hyrukin, you're
up. Give me money to buy a Camaro, because then this thing looks good.
Oh, you're an archer, are you, Death?
Heck
okay, now we're on,
yes.
because we're getting bullshit shills. We're gonna go to someone who has real shillage. Burnside.
All right, greetings, motherfucker. I am the Burnside Film Project. When I'm not trying to dodge the communist sodomists that rule the fucking socialized Wi-Fi of Chicago, you can find me on YouTube, BitChute, Twitter, and Gab AI. And yes, I know there were some things I was trying to get done for Redbubble. I got the Imperium of Mankind flag up there, and I organized everything so that if you actually look up Reckless Flaggatry with an R, not a WR, you should be able to find all the banners and stuff that I've been making for everybody. I still got to edit up the Imperium of Mankind one, but my computer's been a spastastic fucking Polish Jew or something made in fucking China, so I have to beat the shit out of it with an American flag and take it to Worstfi and demand these nerds at gunpoint or USB point to fix the fucking thing. So I'm kind of out of commission for the time being until I can get that bastard fixed. But other than that, everything else should continue as normal as far as live streams and that. And I guess it's on to you, Scoob.
Oh, well, you guys know the deal. I'm Scooby331. You guys can follow me here on YouTube. I'm on Minds.com. Gab AI, Patreon and PayPal, So I'm still trying to figure out how to get those working. So just bear with me on those. If you're feeling generous, though, you can always contact me. I'm willing to take anything. I'm also on Twitter. I am currently in like the limited state. I haven't been on since like Friday. I'll probably be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna call Twitter's number in San Diego tomorrow afternoon, my time, and try to hash it out with them. I think it's been like a cultural misunderstanding, is what it is. You know, they misconstrued something I said as a threat, so I'm just gonna have to hash it out with them. But yeah, that's where you can follow me. I'm on those sites.
Damn, you're a god. Holy shit. You are calling their 1-800 Soviet Union number? Holy fuck.
Yeah, why
I find
not?
it impressive how many people are blocked you. Lord, I can't even get blocked by Cult of Dusty.
I get blocked when I tell feminists to wait on their knees.
Well,
I've been
speaking of
trying
knees,
too.
Sir Wolfie, get on your knees and chill.
I get on my knees for no one.
You will for me.
That could be persuaded. I was a sub for 2 years before being a dominant because that's the old way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I am Sir Wolfie. I run the Church of Sir Wolfie on YouTube, so come and visit me. Become part of my congregation. Get on your knees and worship me. And I might give you some fun.
Oh.
And I am your lovable cyberpunk bitch, Terra. You can find me on pretty much any social media. If you're watching this channel, obviously you fucking found me. Please donate. I am trying to get up money for a new sewing machine. It is the Singer 452 heavy duty, or excuse me, 4452 heavy duty. I do a lot of sewing. I've got purses and stuff, which will be getting posted up in my Streamlabs merchandise. There's also my Streamlabs link. Everything is in my description, as well as me posting it in the channel chat. So please donate so I can get a new sewing machine, hopefully before more. And that'll be it. If you want to continue watching some of us, me, Burnside, and Scooby, please come on over to the Minions.
And you'll see me in the chat.
I'll
And remember,
probably be in the chat.
Remember,
Right.
if you make a donation, a big enough donation to Terra's PayPal for her sewing machine, she is going to be making Burnside a pair of alligator-themed assless chaps that he is going to be wearing at more.
I would have to get
They're
pictures.
gonna be pajamas.
I would have to get pictures.
Nope, you don't get footy pajamas. They're chaps now.
They're assless chaps, and I get pictures.
No, they're assless footy chaps. That's the beauty of it. She's going to make them. They're going to have the little footy alligator feeties, but they're going to have no ass to them.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What
Or she
heresy?
can kill two gators and make one of each.
What I will do is make the original type of whole body footy pajamas, where it zips up the front and has an ass flap.
Yeah, you got to give him the
Okay,
ass flap with the gator tail above it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I told you got to give him the one like in A Christmas Story. It's got to have the googly-eyed feet that look like alligators.
All right, I can compromise with that.
I still
I
think
will
it's
tolerate it, but be grumpy.
All right.
You
Good
know-
night, cyberspace.
Good night.
Good night.
So long.